This video will give you an overview of what GSuite looks like. Now, GSuite used to be called or known as Google Apps for Education, or GAFE, G-A-F-E. So if you've already familiarized yourself with GSuite, you don't have to continue watching this video. This video is intended for the people that are not familiar with GSuite and what are the different possibilities and options that are available for you. One thing you'll notice once you get signed into Google with your Gmail account, top right hand corner you're going to see the apps. First one is Gmail. Now Gmail is a great way for you to communicate with your students and possibly even the parents as well. You can also communicate with other teachers this way. Pretty easy to operate emailing system. Next one is Drive. I'll touch on Drive in more detail in just a little bit. Then we have Contacts. Contacts are really nice because what you can do here is you can create all your contacts and you can even start to set them up as labels. So for instance, I'm just going to use my own name here. So I have my label over here. I created a label. It's kind of like a folder for your contacts. So I'm just going to click on the email address that I added. I'm going to click Manage Labels, and then I can select First Period. So now my email has been added to First Period. So the nice thing with this is when you want to send an email to all of your students in First Period, all you do is type in First Period. And then it pulls up all of the contacts that are listed below here. It also works really well when you go to share a document with your students, or it could be the parents, or if you're a coach and you want to share it with all of your team, all the team members, you can do that as well. Take the time to up front set up your contacts, and then it becomes really nice in the end when you have all your contacts created. Up next is going to be Google Calendar. Now Google Calendar has some really nice features that allow you to overlay multiple calendars. It also allows you to pinpoint specific calendars that you want to pay close attention to. So for instance, if you're taking a quick glance at mine here, I have all of these calendars over here on the left hand side. So I have a Tech PLC, I have reminders, I have a family calendar that I created with my wife. So instead of having to write down on a sticky note or on a board, we just created a Google Calendar. We both have access to it. When I create an event, it automatically shows up on my wife's calendar on her phone. There's daily, there's birthdays, and there's also other calendars. If you scroll down here, you'll see a list of other calendars. You could even add in a coworker's calendar. So let's say you have working calendars and you want to see what time they're available, or a colleague from a different school, you could add that. Browse interesting calendars. You can add in. So if you're a sports fan, or if there's weather or something that's really interesting to you, you can add those in. Add by URL. If you go to a website and they say embed this calendar, you would add it right there. Import calendars, if you're taking it from somewhere else, it might mean like a Microsoft Outlook calendar, and you're going to put it into here. You can see I have the weather. It has my daily agenda, my week, my month, and you can also see if I click on, let's say I have an event tomorrow. I have 5 events already scheduled. If I want to create an event, I just click on it. Now it's going to be a reminder. What's really neat here is you can change the calendar. So if it needs to go on just the calendar for my wife and I click here, I type in the event, and I can edit the event. Here's all the different things I can do to this one specifically. You can share calendars with students. You can give access to them and then take it away if they don't need access to that calendar anymore. So there's a lot of neat things you can do with your Google Calendar. Google Plus is set up to basically bring the information to you. Kind of a Facebook, kind of a Twitter, kind of a Instagram, not really Instagram, but kind of Instagram, also Pinterest. So what you do is you join different communities. And basically any community you can think of for education, there's a community out there for you. So Google Maps, there's 119,000 members. You can see Google Classroom for Educators. You simply click the join button And most of them have moderators or people that are in charge of the community. And then it takes just a little bit of time and they will approve the community membership for you. It's free. One of the nice features with Google Plus is you can join a community, let's say Google Apps for Education, right here, educators. If you have a question, you can pose it to the group. There's 44,000 possible responses that you're going to get. Now, you're not going to get 44,000 responses, but you're going to find somebody that's going to know the question to your answer most likely. And I've had really good luck using Google Plus in the communities. You can also create your own community. You can create a teacher community. You can create a Nebraska community, or if you teach in Iowa, you can create separate communities for your teaching. You want to make it the best possible for yourself. Next one, if we go to Google Sites, and there's another video that will walk you through how Google Sites work. I'm not going to walk you through that right now. Google Search is a basic search. You're typing in what you're going to go Google something. Now, Docs, Sheets, and Slides, these are all things I'm going to go over in a little bit with you. Google Groups, you can play around with that as well. Google Groups is basically set up to give you the possibility of creating a discussion forum almost. What it does here is it shows you all your discussions in one place. So I can create a group. You can see over here I have a couple of groups that I'm part of. Now the thinking behind this is, instead of having to email people back and forth, you can kind of start a thread or topics of discussion, and then you're just simply going to respond when you see fit. People power discussions. Use photos, there's nicknames, there's translations, keyboard shortcuts, mobile friendly. You can access it from your phone. You can create groups. You can join groups. There's a lot of neat features that are available for Google Groups. And you can also see, if you go down to more, there are more. There's Google Forms. There's another video that will walk you through how to create a Google form. Google Hangouts. We'll do Google Hangouts this summer. YouTube, there's Google Photos, and there's Admin. Now, Admin gives you, if you're the admin for your domain, your district, it gives you certain powers where you can push out certain apps for all Google accounts for your district. It's a really nice feature. Even more from Google, Google Classroom. We'll talk about Google Classroom. Google Classroom is set up to be an LMS, a learning management system, which allows you to share documents with your students in a very easy manner in which they have access to it. They hit a quick button, they turn it in, you have access to it. Pretty neat layout. There's Hangouts, there's Google Keep. Google Keep is kind of like sticky notes. It is also able to convert into certain other documents and things like that. And we'll go over that at some point as well. Pear Deck, it might be a possibility for you to explore this summer. If you've never heard of Pear Deck, you can sure jump right into it. And there's more apps from the marketplace. You can check those out as well. I'm going to go back to Google Drive, and I want to give you a pretty basic overview of what Google Drive looks like. On the left-hand side, you're going to notice My Drive, Shared with Me, Recent, Google Photos, Starred, and Trash. Now, the big difference here is if I'm going to create something, I'm on My Drive. Now, if somebody shared something with me, I have to go to Shared with Me Drive. Now, one of the things that's a little bit kind of annoying with this is you can't really organize your Shared with Me Drive. So now if somebody, basically, if they shared a document with you, what you can do here is you can get access to it right here. So let's say this person shared this with me, I can click on it. Now, if I want to add this to my drive, there's a couple of possible ways you can do this. Right now, I can go to File, I can make a copy, I can add it to my drive. Now, the difference here is if I add it to my drive, let's say another colleague shared this with me, and this one's actually public on the web. If they shared it with me, I can add it to my drive, and we're still working on the same spreadsheet, PowerPoint, or whatever it is. If I make a copy, I essentially broke the link, and now that copy is just mine. I would then have to share it with somebody else. So pay close attention when you add to drive or make a copy. I'm going to work my way back here to My Drive. Now on My Drive, what you want to do is you can set up folders, and I highly recommend setting up folders. So if you click on new folder, you can create your folders. So let's say summer 2017, you can make a folder. And inside the folder, you can have a bunch of other folders. So it's kind of like the old school Trapper Keepers, in which you have this huge folder or system set up, and you're putting everything in there nice and neat. You can do a file upload. So you created something in Microsoft and you want to upload it to your drive, file upload. Folder upload. The folder upload would give you the ability to take an entire folder. I created an entire chapter or a unit on civilization, and I want to upload it to Google. I can do a file upload. You come down here to Google Docs. Google Docs has a similar feel to what Microsoft Word is. Now, Google Docs would be a watered down version of it. Google Sheets is similar to what Excel does, not as powerful. Google Slides is similar to what PowerPoint does. If you click on more, there's Google Forms. That will be how you can take an online assessment or a survey. Google Drawings are really fun to use with your students. There's Google Sites, and there's a bunch more that you can add in at a later date. All right, I'm just going to show you real quickly here what Google Docs looks like. Now, one of the great features with Google is that you have the ability to share it with multiple people very quickly. So I'm going to just type in practice. Now you'll notice in the top right hand corner it says share. So right now no one has access to it except for me. If I want to make it available to somebody else, I have a couple of options. So I'm going to click on share. I can enter their email address, and that would mean I'm going to share it with them. We're colleagues, we're collaborating on this together. I can do that. I can also click on advanced. So right now it's private. I can change that. I can have it set up to be anyone with the link. So if I send an email and I sent the link and it says click here, they then have access to that specific document. Another nice feature here is prevent editors from changing access and adding new people. If I want to be the owner of the document and not allow anybody else to change that from me, I want to check that. Disable options to download, print, and copy for commentators and viewers. Now, one of the nice things with this is if you're having your students type something and you don't want them to copy and paste it, you simply click that box right there. And there's a bunch of other, you can notice the ribbon here, you can go to tools and you can go to explore, there's voice typing, there's a way to connect in the notepad in which you've done, you can translate the document, you can go to add-ons, you can get add-ons, there's tons of possibilities here for you. Main thing to be aware of is anything you create in Google starts off as starts off as private, you then have to give them access to that. And we'll go over more of this throughout the semester or the summertime. So I hope you enjoy the Google overview, and if you have any questions, as always, let me know.